to Crime in Court. My name is Heather, and this is going to be a relatively quick update in the Delphi case. So, as you can see from the thumbnail, we are talking about the Delphi homicides, Justice for Abby and Libby, and this is Indiana versus Richard Allen. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about the jury view and questions that Slick Nick doesn't want the defense to know. So, like I said, this is going to be a quick update, but I think it's going to be interesting. So, please hit the like button and let's get started. So, the first motion, the defense just dropped two motions on September 23rd. So, I'm going to read through both of them today. And the first motion is the motion to view the crime scene for the jury to view the crime scene. So, Richard Allen, by counsel pursuant to IC 353725, asks the court to order that the impaneled jury be transported to the Freedom Bridge, the Monon High Bridge, and to the site where the bodies of the victims were located, as well as the site of the old CPS building where the prosecution claims Richard Allen's vehicle was parked between 1:30 p.m. and 4 p.m. on February 13th, 2017. The view would be requested as it would greatly aid a jury's understanding of evidence presented at trial, including observing and feeling the unique topography of the land, something that cannot be understood from photographs and video because there's like the bridge is up here high, but then you go down a hill really low in like this ditch area, and then you've got, a clearing. So it's very odd, and I've never been there. I don't know, but that's how it looks in pictures, and it just doesn't, I'm sure I don't even get the right feel, but you've got this high bridge, and then you've got areas below too. So how do you get from the high to the low? And is it rocky? Is it, hilly? How do you get from each level of the ground? Specifically, the request is for the jurors to walk the trail from the Freedom Bridge to the Monon High Bridge, which is important because, as we know, these are important sites. We know that the girls were on, did they go to Freedom Bridge? I know they went to Monon High. Freedom Bridge is the other bridge that the other crowd of witnesses was at, the other girls, I thought. Anyways, number two, to then view the opposite end of the bridge where the victims were allegedly abducted. So they were on one side of the bridge, but then the girls walked the bridge, which is dangerous and um it's not recommended to do because there's no railings, you could fall, you could definitely lose your life from that fall because it's very high up. So it's not, I don't know why it's allowed, but people go and they walk this bridge. It's actually like an old train track that's abandoned and not, in the greatest of conditions. So there's slats and you got to watch where you're going. So is the jury going to walk the bridge, the Monon High Bridge? Um, if I was on the jury, I wouldn't want to do that. Number three, to view the area where the victims were found and then the location where the prosecution claims Richard Allen parked his car from 1:30 to 4 p.m. on February 13th. These locations are less than 2 miles from the courthouse. Oh, so you're quite close. Juror transport and viewing could easily be completed in under 90 minutes. Allen and his counsel, Andrew J. Baldwin, Bradley Rosie, and Jennifer Auger, request to present, along with the prosecution, and observe the viewing under whatever direction and guidelines the court may order under Indiana Code Section 3725. If, because of any security concerns, the court does not wish to allow Allen to be transported to view the scene, he waives any such right and asks that the court order the jury view to occur without him. So, if Judge Gull would oppose Richard Allen attending the jury view, which I have a feeling that she would, if she even allows this jury view, then she would probably not want him to be near the jurors, is my guess. So that is the motion to view the jury scene, and you can see they're going to be doing potentially some walking and really learning the area, which I think would be helpful for them to make a decision or, to understand the state's theory because they said that they were abducted right there. So I would say it's relevant and um, appropriate to go see it, but we'll see what judge says. I have a feeling she'll deny it, but maybe she'll let them go. All right, so motion to compel deponents to answer certified questions. So these some depositions took place of certain witnesses and just recently, and now we find out through this motion that Nick McClelland was in attendance at these depositions, which is his right. He can do that, but he doesn't represent these witnesses, FYI. He represents the state and the state's interests. So why he's trying to silence some of the deponents is really a good question. So he actually said in these depositions to these witnesses, don't answer that. So here is a list of questions to certain witnesses that were not answered during these depositions. And so they are asking the court to say, hey, can you please force a answer for these questions because Nick is basically obstructing our ability to defend our client. So now that I explained that. Comes now, the accused, Richard Allen, by and through counsel Andrew Baldwin, respectfully requests this court to compel certain deponents to answer certified questions. In support of this motion, defendant asserts the following. Number one, over the course of time, several depositions have resulted in the defense certifying certain questions when the prosecution advised the deponent to not answer the questions. Again, I want to say the what am I looking for? Highlight. The prosecution advised the deponent not to answer certain questions. So Nick McClelland is saying, don't answer that when they're being asked a question during a deposition, which is suspicious. Like I said, he doesn't represent the victims or the witnesses in this case. He represents the state, not even the victims. He represents the state. Number two, the defense is requesting this court to order the deponents to answer the certified questions. Number three, the certified questions the defense seeks this court to compel the state witness to answer are contained in the following paragraphs. Number four, on August 10th, 2023, the defense deposed Jerry Holman and the following question was certified. What did you talk to Sheriff Liggett about to prepare for your deposition? Why couldn't he answer that? Huh? That's weird, huh? On May 3rd, so that meaning like he prepped Sheriff Liggett and Jerry Holman tried to get their story straight or prepped or something before a deposition, potentially. On May 3rd, 2024, the defense deposed Jerry Holman and the following questions were certified. A. Why did it take you guys so long to get a blood spatter expert in April of 2024? B. Why did it take so long for the investigators to get a blood spatter expert? C. Did anyone in your unified command or greater law enforcement investigative team ever suggest that you should do that? Retain someone to discuss blood spatter during the investigation. So, why is conversation about a spatter expert not allowed to be learned? Why can't not find out why it took so long for them to do this? Since that is the defense's job is to pick apart the investigation. So why? There's no reason why they shouldn't answer that. All right, number 6. On March 22nd, 2024, the defense deposed John Gallipo And the following questions were certified. So he was the warden, remember. Um, Holman was the lead investigator, and Gallipo was the warden, is the warden of Westville Correctional Facility, where Richard Allen was originally housed in solitary for um, like over a year, I think, or almost a year. All right, so A, I'm assuming some of that talking to the prosecutor was just talking about the pleadings I had filed or Andy filed, things like that. So I'm assuming that some of your your preparation with the prosecutor was just about talking with the pleadings that he had filed, is what he's asking. B, and so what you were asked to do when you got the document affidavit signed by, oh, and so what were you asked to do when you got the document? And C, did you or did they give you any reasons why the defense could not go see where Richard Allen was living? So, for some reason, they were told the defense team couldn't go see where Richard Allen was living, his solitary unit. D, do you know why they made the decision or the decision for a no phone policy at Westville Correction? So, who made that decision? Why or why was it made? I guess. That's what they're trying to find out. 7, on April 18th, 2024, the defense deposed Joshua Robinson and the following questions were certified. Who is Joshua Robinson? Generally, describe to me what kind of questions these were. Questions for the affidavit prepared by Elise Gallagher. B, I'm not asking you about what Ms. Gallagher talked to you about. I'm asking you what questions you answered for the affidavit. And now, sorry, this gets even blurrier because how people upload pictures and stuff. It says, what were these questions for the affidavit? I'm going to zoom out a little so I can read it better. All right, 8. On May 3rd, 2024, the defense deposed Tony Liggett and the following question was certified. Tony Liggett, part of Unified Command. What was the purpose of that Unified Command? What's that last word? I can't read that. Oh, meeting. It looks like there was a meeting, potentially. What was the purpose of that unified command meeting? Bless you, my dog sneezing. Number 9, on September 13th, 2024. Bless you. My dog, he burps and sneezes like just like a man, like a grown man. He sounds. Sorry for that interruption. All right, so on September 13th, 2024, the defense deposed Stephen Mullen. He's an officer. Mr. Mullen, right? Isn't he? Mr. Mullen refused to answer questions posed in subsections A through D below. Okay, so Mr. Mullen refused to answer these questions below. Rather than answer the simple yes or no question, Mullen repeatedly made conclusory statements to defense counsel that Richard Allen was the man that Betsy Blair observed. So instead of answering the questions, he was like, "No, no, no, that was Richard Allen," trying to go back and deflect. All right. And was the man that Sarah Carbow observed as well. The deposition has not yet been transcribed, so the defense cannot be certain as to the correct or exact questions formed in the deposition, but the question, I'm sorry, this is really blurry. The deposition has not been transcribed, so the defense cannot be certain as to the exact questions formed at the deposition, but the questions certified were to the effect of A through D below, or if answered, would have led to the questions similar to A through D below. A, is your timeline something theory of the case? I'm sorry, this is so. Oh, and theory. Is your timeline and theory of the case something to the prosecution's case? It's so hard to read. Fatal? It looks like the word is fatal. Is your timeline and theory of the case fatal to the prosecution's case against Richard Allen if the person Betsy Blair observed on the bridge is not Richard Allen? Okay, so that makes sense if the word is fatal there. B, is your timeline and theory of the case fatal to the prosecution's case against Richard Allen if the vehicle that Betsy Blair observed at the CPS building was not Richard Allen's vehicle? And I think the answers to all of these would be yes. C, if Betsy Blair observed one person and Sarah Carbow observed an entirely different person, is the prosecution's timeline and theory of the case as it relates to Richard Allen fatally flawed? I'd say yes. D, if neither Betsy Blair nor Sarah Carbow observed Richard Allen on February 13th, is the state's timeline and theory of the case as it relates to Richard Allen fatally flawed? Wherefore, the accused respectfully requests that the motion be granted and that the court order the deponents to answer the questions that have been certified. So, hopefully, we get allowed by Judge Gull, but we'll see because as she's been ruling on the motions from the defense, it's mostly denied. So I don't have a lot of hope that she will do this, but there's always a chance. I'm always going to hold out like this hope that suddenly Gull just becomes like a normal person, but I don't I don't see it happening anytime soon. I definitely feel like Judge Gull has lost all sense of morals in this case and allowing her bias to really sway her rulings, sway the way that she is portraying the attorneys, speaking to the attorneys. She's very rude to them, comes off very rude in transcripts, even like you can feel how rude it is in just a transcript. So, like I said, I don't have a lot of hope that she'll allow either of these, but let's all cross our fingers because this might help Richard Allen's case. And whether you believe Richard Allen is innocent or guilty, you should want him to have a fair trial and you should want the truth to come out. And by everything that Judge Gull has been doing, she has been blocking the truth from coming out. And that's not how our justice system is supposed to be. It's supposed to be brought to light. We're supposed to see it in public because of corruption and things like that that could happen. We're supposed to hold our legislators, our judicial branch, our politicians, our law enforcement, we're supposed to hold them all accountable. And this is the time that we need to all start waking up and realize mass media, they don't tell you anything. And we need to start digging and looking into these things ourselves. And that's the note I'm going to leave you guys with because it's scary. It's really scary what they're doing to Richard Allen, whether he's innocent or not. Guilty, innocent, what they've done to him and his psyche at his time in Westville has been such a detrimental, traumatic event that he's never going to be the same person ever again. Even if he does get out, even if he does get exonerated, if he's guilty or innocent, he is never going to be the same. His brain is probably forever changed because of how he's been treated at the Westville Correctional Facility. And it's sad. He's a victim too, regardless of the outcome here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I wish we had some better topics to talk about regarding the Richard Allen case, but we will take what we get so far. So I will keep you guys posted. Make sure you are subscribed and hit that like button on your way out for me, please. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye now.